Yes. Thank you very much. And welcome again to the 2016 pinning ceremony for the nursing graduates here at PCC. You may be seated. Welcome, and for good measure of celebration, can I have the 2016 graduates please stand again? I'm going to put you through some workout here. I always like to start out with what's most important. You know, these are the big ideas. This is the big thing today, and it's you guys. I want to also take this opportunity because there's also something most important here around you, who are your family and friends who have supported you, loved you through the last 2 years, and we know it's been hard. So this is your opportunity to turn to your people and give them the round of applause for all that they've done for you in this journey. Okay, you can sit down. I won't make you stand up too much more. As with any gathering, introductions are always in order. So before we stop the world out there and really dive into this pinning ceremony, I do have a few introductions. The nursing program would not exist here at PCC without a whole lot of support. We have many of the nursing faculty here up on the stage, and we have some program and college leadership folks that were invited and are here today to share this time with us. So what I would like to do is start out with the introductions from the stage so that your friends, you guys all know these guys here, you know, but there are a lot of people out there that haven't, maybe have heard their names in one way or another, but have not been introduced to them. So I would like to take that opportunity to do that now. So, as I call your name, could you please stand and just stay standing until everybody's been introduced, okay? Claudia Michael is right behind me. She's gonna stand up. She is nursing faculty and works in the lab. And you guys can do the clapping at the end. We'll just go down the road, okay? Therese Vogel is also faculty in the skills lab. Peggy Shearer, second year faculty. Colleen Caraher, Skills Lab Facilitator. Marge Delaney, second year faculty. Wendy Sheldon, Simulation Faculty. Marie McGee, second year faculty. Linda Eby, Colleen Duncan, second year faculty. Jane Palmieri, she's a first year faculty. And Juanita Joy, second year faculty. The powerhouses are up here today. We do have folks from the larger college community, and I would like to introduce them shortly, but there is a group of people here that have been your village during your time here at PCC that helped you be successful and create a program in which you could be successful. One person I would be very remiss not to introduce specifically is a person that is invaluable to every student she encounters. She also has a secret drawer in her desk for any visiting children. So if I can have Jan Cromie please stand up. Jan is the administrative assistant in the faculty offices, and she is just pivotal to student life here in the program. So thank you, Jan. There are two introductions that I would like to make specifically from the larger college community, but I know there's a group of folks that I don't have all the names and all the titles on, but I would like everybody who is associated with the nursing program here at PCC that have helped these students through the last 2 years, please stand up and be recognized. I know I have a group here in the front row. Yes, they health admissions, part-time faculty, other college staff. Sometimes people get out in the general seating too, so if there's anybody out there, I want you to stand up too. Carla. The two specific introductions that I do want to make today are very pivotal people. You might not see them on the student level day to day, but they bring this nursing program what it needs, the resources, if there's issues or challenges, they're the ones that are first to respond. And for the division here in health technology, the dean of this particular program is Jen Piper. Jen? She so supports this program and each one of you by that association. And lastly, I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Lisa Avery, who is the Sylvania campus president. She is here today. Dr. Avery's leadership, along with Dean Piper, provides the college support of this nursing program. And while, as I said, that major impact you don't see on a day-to-day basis, without their support, you know, we'd come to a grinding halt and then it'd be a bummer for you all. So I'm so glad that they're here today. And I would also like to invite Dr. Avery to the stage to welcome everybody here today.
Good afternoon. Congratulations, graduates. We are so proud of you. This is my first year at PCC Sylvania and my first year of graduation season. This is, I think, one of our 7th or 8th celebration and our last, and the one of which I am most proud. The nursing is our signature program here at Sylvania, and we need you desperately out in the community. So we're so pleased that you're here. Congratulations on your many, many successes. And don't forget where you came from. Keep in touch with us, because your success is our success, and we want to be able to brag about you to the world. So continue doing great things, and congratulations on your work.
Thank you, Dr. Avery. Before we get started, there's some housekeeping public service announcements for everyone. Bathrooms are always an important thing, and since there's none on this floor, I thought I might mention that so you can time it appropriately. The bathrooms in this building are located on the 3rd floor and the 1st floor, and you can get to them by the stairs and the elevator, so plan accordingly. I would just say that. Also, this is the usual time in announcements for folks to check those phones and see if they're planning to be quiet for a bit. And so I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Now comes the time that we're going to stop the world. We don't get to do that very often in the busy world that we live in, and it seems to pick up speed every day. But we have an opportunity today with each and every one of you to slow it down and to savor the time together. This is going to go fast. It's going to be 4 o'clock and you'll be off having some real fun soon. And we want to make this last, you know? We want to have this time to still be together as a group, because this is a very important ceremony for each and every one of you. The nursing pinning ceremony is a time-honored tradition. It's a solemn occasion that can be traced back to the Crusades of the 12th century. During this time, the Knights of the Order of the Hospital of St. John the Baptist, what a name, that's a long one, They tended to the injured and infirm crusaders. When new monks were initiated into the order, they they served the sick soldiers, and they received a pin in a ceremony as they became caregivers for the injured crusaders. So that was where pinning kind of started back in history. And more recently in 1860, doesn't that sound recent, Florence Nightingale was honored with the Red Cross pin for the tireless nursing work she did in caring for the injured during the Crimean War. The first U.S. pinning took place in 1880. That's how long nursing pinning ceremonies have been a part of the transition from student nurse to graduate nurse, and the welcome that you are going to receive today into the nursing profession. That was held at the Bellevue Hospital of Nursing in New York after they had completed their academic program. So this timeline just illustrates how deep history is related to the nursing pinning ceremony. And for you, the class of 2016, this is your day, this is your time, this is your pinning ceremony. It is an occasion to honor you for the successful completion of the first, and in my humble opinion, the most important foundational experience as you head out into clinical practice. It's your pre-licensure education. Everything else gets built on this. From this day forward, you're taking PCC's program with you as you build your practice, as you go on in education. But that's why this ceremony is so important to us and to you. It's a rite of passage, this ceremony is, to symbolize your transition from nursing student to graduate nurse, as you are welcomed into the nursing profession by the faculty who will be doing the pinning today. It also symbolizes your readiness to enter into the world of nursing. You feeling ready? I don't know. Well, this symbolizes your readiness to do so. The completion of the pinning ceremony will provide you a reminder, as we all have reminders of our own pinning ceremony, of your first step into the professional life of a nurse. And we all are now part of that reminder and that memory for you. From this day forward, you will become a care provider to your patients and family wherever you provide nursing care. You will be an advocate for those families and those patients and the nursing profession itself. And in some ways, in my mind, very important, you will be a leader in any setting that you find yourself. So, now's the time that we are slowing down. We know the importance of this day, and we're going to begin the program. But before we do, I do want to let you know I did a little rearranging of the speakers, and the student speakers will be coming up first. These students have been selected by their peers to share the student voice for the pinning ceremony. The two student speakers today are Greg Harris and Kate Lenahan, and I would like to invite Greg up as the first student speaker of the day.
This is how ready I am. I just want to take a second and bask in the moment with my fellow classmates here. Just, yes! Doesn't that feel good? We did it. You know, I didn't think I'd be nervous to speak up here when they first asked me. Yeah, I was wrong. I'm nervous, there's a lot of people. I mean, I've been up in front of my classmates a couple times over the last 2 years, and heck, they've even witnessed me cross-dress once. Mom and Dad, I'll explain later. But seriously, to my classmates, you guys remember where and when you got that acceptance letter into this program? I sure do. I was on the beach. It was a beautiful day. I was just about to get in the water and go surfing, and I got that email on my phone, and I just jumped around like a buffoon. I didn't care who was watching. I danced right there. I felt like Charlie in Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory when he first got that golden ticket. You know, he was pumped. And then I'm sure you remember week 1 of the first year. I think that's the closest I've ever come to an anxiety attack. I felt more like the kid drowning in chocolate at that point. I think we all, at least for a moment, questioned or second-guessed our chosen path. But we didn't give up, and we're here. So, I do want to take a moment to mention, I know Marilyn and I didn't talk about our family support groups, but I do want to mention my wife, Rebecca, and my daughter, Brooklyn, of course, as well as the rest of my family. And I've never get an opportunity to do this, so will you please all clap for them? Thank you, and for yourselves. And by the way, guys, if you're in a relationship that was already there when you started the program, and you're still in it now and you're not hitched, maybe you should be. Because if someone sticks by you during this time where all your time is absorbed by school and they are still with you, they are a keeper. Again, I want to thank all of our amazing instructors and support staff. Thank you for holding the bar of excellence and molding us into nurses. I can speak for all of my classmates when I say thank you 1,000 times over. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not going to say 1,000 times. Okay. To my fellow classmates, you are all amazing people. I have endless respect for each of you. You've all helped me in many variety of ways. Just know that if you ever see me, even years from now, we're all grizzled nurses, veterans, tenured, and we're grumpy. Don't hesitate to come up and say hi to me, and let me know where you are in life. I want to hear about it. And I do want to invite you to my house July 2nd. I'll be staying out at Evite for a party. There'll be catered food and libations and a bonfire, and you, okay? And you guys are all welcome to, of course. Thank you for the honor to speak here tonight. That's all I really had to say. I just wanted to kind of say something that I think we'd all share in the sentiment. And I hope you all pass the NCLEX with 75 questions and no more. And you get a position in the department of your dreams. And peace.
Thank you, Greg. The second student speaker for today is Kate Lenahan. Kate.
Oh God, here we go. You guys are my favorite people. I had started practicing the speech and couldn't quite get through it without crying. And then I did it enough, and I thought I was going to be okay, but it turns out it's not going to be. And so anyway, you've been warned. I apologize. I'll get through it eventually. On the first day of class, I looked around at all of these strong personalities crammed into one room, and on the verge of hysteria. And my first thought was, oh, there is no way this is going to end well. I don't think I could have been more wrong. Over the last 2 years, we somehow have managed to take all of that nervous energy and put it towards creating this amazing culture. This is a culture of mutual respect and support. We have carried each other through crises and losses and successes. We have found the strength to support each other when we felt like we were failing ourselves. We've forgiven each other for our bad days, knowing that someday we will need to be forgiven too. During our first term, we held total strangers in their arms as they cried. I don't know what we were all crying about, but I just remember that we were all crying. and that I got and gave support to people who I didn't know yet. But now we know each other. We have cheered each other on as we learned each new skill. And we have cheered even harder when we finally got to perform them on a real person. We traded ATI and lab days just to make sure everyone got the work done. And we spent hours and hours and hours and hours studying for exams, working until we were sure we'd all pass. Or at least we hoped. Then when we all did, we celebrated together for hours and hours. Now, instead of supporting each other just to get by, we're cheering each other on through job interviews and opportunities. We've helped each other get to this day, and we'll keep helping each other to pass the NCLEX. And then it'll be done. Then we'll be nurses. It's already starting. We're already starting to scatter. Some of us got job offers from the practicum sites. Other people are interviewing all over the country, and others are going to go on to OHSU and power through and get their bachelor's degree. We're moving on, but we're different people now. We're not the terrified, hysterical people we were 2 years ago. We are the people who endured. We are the people who built this culture, and we're the people who are going to go out into the world and share it with everyone we know. We're going to go out and support our coworkers when they need us. We're going to say enough is enough when we need to take care of ourselves. We're going to fight for our patients when they're at their worst moments in their lives. And we're going to inspire and empower everyone around us to be the people that they want to be too, just like we have been inspired and empowered by each other. Thank you all. To our amazing instructors, who always held us to the highest standards and who somehow managed to teach these tired brains to think like great nurses. To our families, whose support and understanding is what allowed us to be here in the first place and what allowed us to keep going. To our friends, who were there when we needed them and who forgave us when we disappeared for months at a time. And most importantly, thank you to my classmates. You were the people who got me through this when no one else could understand, and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Very moving words. So we switched the student speakers with the keynote speaker, and it is my great pleasure to be introducing the keynote speaker for today. Linda Eby is a first-year nursing faculty who has been teaching in the PCC nursing program for 30 years, and she is retiring this year. Speaker today, and she readily accepted. Welcome to the podium, Linda Eby.
Well, thank you for asking me to speak to you today. This is a great honor and a great joy for me. My other joy today is that my daughters Monica and Kate and my son-in-law Mickey are here to back me up. So if I have another one of those mini strokes like I had last year in clinical, one of them is going to jump right up here and finish off my speech. So you can't hide. You guys, they're back in that. See, there they are. See them waving their hands. There they are. If anything happens, the speech is right here. Okay, thank you. So, for those of you who don't know me, I have an excellent set of organizational skills. Therefore, I organized this presentation into into a 10-point and then 13-point countdown of quotes from people who are famous or obscure who have something to say to us all about nursing. So starting with number 13, and they're not in priority order, so you may want to grade me down for this, is a quote by Charles Dickens, who wrote in his book, A Tale of Two Cities, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." I think his meaning extends to nursing school, where you have certainly experienced hard times in terms of academic difficulty, the fear of failure, balancing priorities in school and real life, the presence of alligators everywhere when there were none, and the process by which the faculty behind me here changed the way that you view the world to make you think like a nurse, which is a very difficult transition to make. In the real world, some of us lost family members during this time when you've been in school. And of course, that is among the hardest of things. On the best of times side, at least one new baby was conceived while you were in nursing school. I'm not sure about everybody, but I know there's one for sure. Maybe the rest of you should get that checked. Also on the best side, you plunged a needle into another human being. And then you said to yourself, I didn't know I could do that. I am real nurse material. That's how you know. And so that's what RN really stands for, is real nurse. So if you've done that hardest task the first time, you know you can do it. So look how far you've come. Look how much you've grown. If you can do this, you've already done the hard part of nursing. My number 12 quote is Mother Teresa. This is a motley crew of quotes, by the way. And Mother Teresa said, "We can do no great things, only small things with great love." And Colleen Carraher shared this quote with me, and I think Mother Teresa is telling us that nurses cannot change the whole world, but we can change the life of one patient at a time by providing holistic and humanistic nursing care. And we all have seen you give this kind of care to your patients in every clinical that we have ever done. Now, quote number 11 is by Helen Keller, who as a blind and deaf woman knew what she was talking about when she said, "The world is filled with challenges, and it is also filled with overcoming." All of you have been challenged in so many ways here, who are here today. Just to be here today, you had to overcome challenges. And our patients, think of the challenges that you've seen them face. For some, the simple act of getting out of bed in the morning is a challenge. For some, breathing is a challenge. You've seen some pretty inspiring overcoming being done. And you'll continue to see that, to see people overcome the challenges of stress and illness throughout your career, and you will certainly contribute to the overcoming of those challenges. Now, quote number 10, I have to change my outfit here. Yes. By one of my favorite entertainers, RuPaul. She's a contemporary entertainer, philosopher, and humanitarian. I believe that RuPaul has done more for improving the self-esteem of at-risk human beings, meaning gay men and boys, also overweight people. Any number of people have benefited from her philosophy and her teachings. And RuPaul's words speak clearly for themselves. if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you ever gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? All right. Thank you. Oh, yes. All right. Now, number 9. While we're talking about loving your real self, I must throw in one more quote about taking care of yourself. And this is by another favorite person in history of mine by the name of Frida Kahlo, the great 20th century Mexican artist who experienced a horrible bus crash and had chronic pain her entire life afterward. She said, "I drank because I wanted to drown my sorrows, but now the damn things have learned to swim." Frida, I think, is, when she speaks to nurses, I think that she's talking about a problem that is rampant in the health professions. And that is the idea that substances, whether alcohol, oxycodone, or whatever other lists that you learned in pharmacology that I've forgotten, that these all solve problems, which they do. You know, alcohol always solves your problems. But when you wake up or sober up, the problems are still there, only worse. I think our lesson to take home from this is to take care of yourself. In the other healthy ways that you learned when we were talking about health promotion back in Nursing 110. Take your breaks at work. Be with your family. Say no when staffing calls and asks you to do a double shift. Eat right, exercise, go to counseling. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay? You know what to do. All right, so quote number 8 is, "United we stand and divided we fall." Now, you may have heard this in a popular song from the 1970s, but it really comes from the labor movement. That's where they got it. It speaks loud and clear to nurses. Together, ideally as members of a labor union, we as nurses can make changes in the workplace. Apart, as individuals, we're weaker. So if you think that professionals are above unionism, as a hardworking individual, ask your employer to help pay for your student loans and see how far you get with that. If you want somebody to help you, you're going to need your brothers and sisters in the labor union to help you speak with one voice. The labor unions created the weekend and all the other benefits that workers now enjoy. So nurses together could create a workload that includes giving massage to people in pain, helping patients choose their favorite music for distraction from pain, whatever nurse-patient ratio that you choose. You're the future. You decide, then you tell your employer what's right. The actual ability to take your break at work. Sure you get a break, but how many people do you see taking it? You get a lot of poor role modeling when it comes to self-care at work in nursing. Et cetera, et cetera. The things that are important for nurses to practice nursing in a way that's ideal for our patients. And in a way that is healthy for ourselves is something that we can gain through collective action. The health industry makes trillions of dollars in profits in its various forms. It's one of the biggest businesses in the world. And many of you may believe, as you've been told, that hospitals just can't afford to guarantee a 1-to-4 or 1-to-5 nurse-patient ratio on the day shift. But I would say, band together, tell the employers what to do, and that's about united we stand, united we win. Okay, I'm done. Now I'm done with that, Kate, in case you were worried. My daughter was worried I was going to talk about that topic the rest of the day. So quote number 7, it's related. Okay, "You are never strong enough that you don't need help." This was said by Cesar Chavez, the great leader of the United Farm Workers Union. When he said that, I think that he meant that when you're working as a nurse, Ask for help when you need it, and give your help to your coworkers when they need it. And if your coworkers are used to always working alone, then be explicit and let them know that nursing is a team sport and it's best played cooperatively. Education, and number 6 is, we're down to number 6 now, so not that many left to go, hang on. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. That was said by Malcolm X, the civil rights activist and philosopher. And to us, he meant that to advance your career, you're going to need a bachelor's degree eventually. I don't know if you know that by 2018, you're going to need the bachelor's degree to even get an entry-level RN job at Providence or Legacy. And, no pressure, I'm just saying. But before the ink on your PCC diploma dries, you should be thinking about, or maybe in the contemplation phase of the change process, about finishing up that bachelor's degree in nursing. Seems like an ending, but it's not. Your education is a lifelong process. The number 5 is, you've been hearing about Muhammad Ali in the news lately because of his death. But the champ is one of my heroes. He was going to be in this talk before he died. This outspoken, proud, arrogant black man pushed the civil rights movement ahead, and he taught a lot of people a lot of things about what we now call diversity. One of the quotes that I like of his, besides, "I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee." It took me a long time to memorize that, but I remember that. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Anyway, the quote I really like is this: "I am America. I am the part you won't recognize, but get used to me. Black, confident, cocky. My name, not yours. My religion, not yours. My goals, my own. Get used to me." This was revolutionary talk in his and my time. Black people were expected to be quiet and respectful for no other reason than the color of their skin. Now it means that Americans come in every color and from every culture and every place in the world, which is to the advantage of us all. You may have heard the term post-racist society. That is ignorance, it might be naivete or a lie. But we're not in a post-racist society, but you know more about how to help people who come from other cultures than my professors knew about that when I went to graduate school. Put this beginning of knowledge to use and become a nurse of the world. Bring people of all backgrounds, of all differences together for communicating and caring, and doing so is one of the most important things that we do as nurses. Quote number 4 is by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a contemporary Buddhist philosopher. He said, "People deal too much with the negative, with what's wrong. Why not try and see positive things, to just touch those things and make them bloom?" Now, I think Thich Nhat Hanh is a really smart guy. He's a very good Buddhist, and he's telling us to be positive. And I'm going to interpret that quote for nursing to say that when we're at work, we want to be positive with each other, not judging our patients, not judging our co-workers, but looking for the good side of our work and our co-workers at work. Now, what Kate said is so true, that we're going to work with people at the worst moment of their lives. But that doesn't mean that we can't bring love and some sort of positive outcome for people, even if it is the coping with stress that Colleen taught you about in the video lab. and coming out the other side a survivor, that makes you stronger. You know, maybe that's the positive thing we can bring is some strength that people didn't realize they had. So anyway, Thich Nhat Hanh. Quote number 3 is by Booker T. Washington, who was a scientist, inventor, and professor. He said, "There are 2 ways of exerting one's strength. One is pushing down, and the other is pulling up." And most of us have experienced being pushed down by somebody else's strength. Let us use our own strength to pull others up. Lift up your family and your patients, your co-workers. Maybe become a nurse educator someday. You know, my heart is just so touched by the memory of, as both of you guys just said, I remember the first day, you know, that you guys started and where you are now, and I wish that some of you will be able to experience the feeling that I have, that the pride and joy of being a part of the process, part of hopefully the good part of the process that brought you from there to here. Quote number 2 is included in honor of my mother, Florence Eby. Yes, she was named after Florence Nightingale, but while your parents can name you, they can't make you be a nurse. They do say, though, that she was a really good roller skate dancer. And I think it's appropriate for today, but it's also her favorite quote. She had a copy by my daughter Monica's bed where she slept while she was a hospice patient at our house. Note, I can even be tangential when I write my comments down on a piece of paper. It's interesting. Anyway, this is desiderata, and that means something necessary, I think, in Latin. And I just decided I was going to throw in a little-known fact kind of thing. Unlike the common opinion, which says that this was written in the 1600s, a guy named Max Ehrmann from Terre Haute, Indiana, actually wrote it. He lived from 1872 to 1945, so it was written sometime during that interval. And it had a heading that said Old St. Paul's Church, Baltimore, AC 1692 on it. And the church was established in 1692. And so, but people started this legend that said that this was the date of the writing, because old stuff in some cases is considered cooler than new stuff. And that's a message to you from Juanita and Wendy and me, that sometimes the old stuff is cooler than it was pretty cool. Anyway, let me do that. So anyway, desiderata. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the, I changed this word, mentally ill and ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful, strive to be happy. And I don't think I need to explain any of that. I think it's as pertinent today as was when it was written, and it's good advice for us all. That brings us to quote number 1, which is number 1 because I wrote the speech and I like it the best. So there you have it. This is someone who has a few things in common with me wrote this. We are both writers, and he is, of course, much more skilled and much more successful than I am at it. We both have the same mental illness, which is major depressive disorder, which I might be handling better than him because I can sleep without a nightlight and he can't. So anyway, it goes like this. When love leaves the world, all hearts are still. Tell them of my love, and tell them of my pain, and tell them of my hope, which still lives. For this is all I have, and all I am, and all I ask. Stephen King. And I think he means keep hope alive. Congratulations on your accomplishment. I wish you all love. You certainly have it from me. I wish you peace and hope. And like Greg, I wish you a great RN job that makes you happy every day that you went to PCC. We are all happy to be here.